Natural solutions to money, relationships, wellness, and more. Shine a light onto your day and into your life. Power Your Life with Dr. Joanne White.
Welcome to Power Your Life. I'm Joanne White, your host, and my first guest is the four-time Emmy Award-winning actress, best known for her role as Olivia on the long-running television drama The Waltons. As a veteran star of stage and screen, she's back with a new theater production called Love Letters, and here to tell us all about it. Welcome, Michael Learned. How are you?
Thank you for having me. Thanks.
You celebrated, I think, last year, your 40th anniversary for the Waltons.
I think it was last year. Everything goes so fast now that I don't know if it was last year or 5 years ago, but I think it was last year.
Okay,
yeah.
great.
Yeah,
so you played Ma, and what was it like playing that role for 10 years on the show?
It put my kids through private school. That was good. And I gained a whole new family.
That's
we're
right.
we're all still very close. And, I have two families, the Walton family and my own children.
And Ralph Waite, I'm sorry, he passed away, and he was
Yeah.
Pa on the Walton.
He was wonderful. I loved him so much. And we were supposed to do love letters
Right.
here at the Wilmington, at the
In
Delaware Theater
Delaware.
Company in Wilmington. And I called him and said, would you like to do love letters with me? And he said, sure, where? And I said, Delaware. And he went, Delaware? And I said, yes. And he said, well, if I'm still here.
So maybe he knew something.
I think he did. He was quite sick, actually, and he hid it very well. But I had a little dinner party, and the kids came, and he drove all the way up for a 4-hour drive from Palm Desert. And he had never, the kids always teased him because he never remembered their names. And this particular night, he sat there and he named each
Wow.
one. Cammie, tell me about your life. What are you doing these days? John, tell me about your life. What's going on in your life? And he went around the room and named each of them by name, and then drove all the way back to Palm Desert that night. And a month or two later, he was gone.
It's amazing
So
that
it was
you
like
were,
he was saying
right,
goodbye.
It was,
yeah.
but it was amazing that you were able to have that dinner
I'm so
with
grateful.
everyone together.
I'm so grateful we had that. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about Love Letters. I know it's on through October 5th here in Delaware, and you're playing with Daniel Davis. He's your co-star, right?
Yes, bless him. He stepped in, and he had never done the play before.
Right.
I've done it a couple of times, and he's wonderful. The first read through, I said, Danny, I don't believe that you've never done this before, because it's just he's a classical actor as well
Right.
as playing the butler on
Right.
The Nanny, and he has a feel for this that's amazing, and people keep telling us that we have great chemistry, and I think we do. So the audiences here have loved the show. They seem to really get these people, which is very gratifying.
So what's the little bit of the story about Love Letters?
Well, it's basically it's a love story,
Right.
but it's also I wonder what might have been kind of a story, because they've grown up together from kindergarten, and they've kept this correspondence going all through their lives,
Right.
really. And Andy is a kind of a man who has decided to do the right thing in life, the way his father taught him to do. And so he's made a lot of personal sacrifices
Right.
to be a politician, and to, although nowadays you wonder how many sacrifices politicians make.
And
but-
your role?
And my role is a woman who is very wealthy and constrained by her social upbringing, and wants to break out of it, but
Doesn't know
can't.
how.
Doesn't know how, exactly. Yeah.
So when you started acting, what was it like, and how did being on the Waltons shape your whole acting career?
Well, I had done a lot of theater before
Right.
the Waltons, and I'm glad, because the TV life doesn't last forever, and so I can come back to my first love, which has
Right.
always been theater. But I was sent away to boarding school when I was 12, because I had as a lot of adolescents do, I'm sure you know,
Right.
I was having a sort of hormonal breakdown, I guess. We were
Yes,
living in a
yes.
tiny village in Austria, and the doctor suggested that I should be with kids who loved dance and
Right.
the arts the way I did. So I was sent to boarding school, which really wasn't what I had in mind. And so I was extremely homesick, and all I did was cry. And the teacher would say, "Michael, could you cry a bit more quietly, please?" And I'd be sitting in the back going, but I won the drama cup there, and
Amazing.
the teacher said, "You're not really a very good dancer, so why don't you specialize in drama?" Which is what I did. And
Right.
it's
And
good.
here
So
you
sometimes
are.
the worst things in life, because I thought it was the worst thing at 12 that I was in another country in this boarding school. And it turns out I got wonderful training, and it gave me a career. So
And when you look back, how do you feel about your career?
I've had a great career. I hope it's not over yet.
I don't think
I want to
so.
keep going as long as I can. And I love working at the Delaware Theater Company. I did a play 2 years ago called The Outgoing Tide,
Here.
which was quite different
Right,
from this.
right.
And so, you know, I hope this is the beginning of a long friendship with that theater. It's a great theater.
Well, I think it's so important that you're so versatile. You're able to go from TV to theater, and like you said, theater is your first love.
Well, Danny and I were talking about it the other day, and we both agree that each one helps the other, you know, because television you have to be very honest. The camera, you can't lie in
Right.
front of the television camera. And so that informs your work in the theater. And the theater also, where you look for subtext and you try to find deeper meaning
Right.
in what you're saying and doing and your character. So that informs television. So we're fortunate. There was a time when you were either a movie actor, a television actor, or a theater actor. They didn't cross over,
Right.
but now, thankfully, they do.
That's good. Thanks so much. More with actress Michael Learned when Power Your Life returns.